This video is brought to you by RVmattress.com, a Brooklyn bedding site.
Hi, my name's Jessica.
And I'm Dub.
And we live full-time in our camper with our 3 kids.
So we've been traveling since September 2020, and we travel in a 2021 Grand Design 3740 BH.
Welcome to the inside of Theo. That's what we named our camper. It stands for Figure It Out, because when we left, we had no idea what we were doing, and we were just figuring it out as we go. We are in the kitchen right now. This is one of the things that we love the most about this camper. There is a ton of space. Being a family of 5, we really wanted a full-size refrigerator. So we have a full residential fridge with a ton of space. It's basically the same size as when we were living in a house. We also have a full-size pantry and a ton of storage that fits absolutely everything that we need. And then we have a full-size microwave, which is also a convection microwave, so we can cook in here just like it's an oven. And we have a propane stove and a propane oven. It's a little bit smaller, but we even were able to cook a full-size turkey in here for Thanksgiving and for Christmas, which is nice. And we have a ton of cabinet space, which I love that about this kitchen. There's a huge island, and there's counter space over here, and there's counter space on this side, which is really nice. This is actually our second camper, and our first camper had hardly any counter space at all. And so we were not able to do anything. And I feel like we can function really like we were in a house because there's so much counter space and storage in this camper, which is really, really nice and super helpful. This is my favorite feature about this camper, hands down. So up here is where we store all of our medicines and supplements. So it's a little bit out of the way so the kids don't really mess with it or whatever. And then we store our cups and our spices over here. One thing I do love about living in a small space is that we don't have a ton of stuff. I remember when we lived in a house, we had an entire cabinet like this full of cups, and we don't have any of that now. And so it's really freeing to just let go of a lot of that stuff. And we have 3 drawers on this side. The top drawer is where we keep our silverware. The middle drawer is for our kitchen utensils. And the bottom drawer is for our plates and our bowls. So just the bare minimum of what we need. Underneath the kitchen sink is where we keep our cleaning supplies, our plastic bags, trash cans, that sort of thing. And then on this side, in this cabinet, is where we keep our cooking utensils, so like our pots and our pans. We have a rice maker, we have a Vitamix blender, basically all the things that you would essentially need and use pretty much every day in a regular kitchen. So one thing I really, really love about this is we have a full-size pantry. So we're able to store a ton of food, which is amazing, especially we have 3 kids, and our kids are older, so they eat a lot of food. And it makes it so we don't have to go to the grocery store all the time. And our first camper was very, very small, and we were having to go to the grocery store every 3 or 4 days. So being able to stockpile is awesome. I love having these bins inside of the pantry because not only does it keep everything super organized, but on drive days, things shift around a lot. It's basically like an earthquake every single time you're driving. And if we didn't have them, like the spaghetti sauce would break and clash against each other, and it would be a mess. So this is super helpful. And if you're in a small space and you're moving around, I highly recommend having bins, especially in like larger cabinets, to make things more contained in like smaller spaces. This is probably one of the most helpful things that we've done in the kitchen for drive days. And these are our 2 junk drawers, because every house needs a good junk drawer, and we have 2 of them. They're very, very small, and we do have to go through these regularly. We probably go through them at least once a month and just get rid of like extra things that are in there, because they can fill up super fast. But I think it is important to have a junk drawer. So we have these. This is one of our favorite things, especially in a campground. So we have the walkies. So when we are we're not a campground, the kids can run around however they want to. They just have to take a walkie with them. And this is nice because instead of like a cell phone, which they may not have signal or whatever, and I don't want them to drop their cell phone and lose it. We're all on the same channel. They reach super far, so the kids will take a walkie with them, and we can check in with them. We can tell them, hey, come back, it's time for dinner. And then we also have other friends that have these same walkies, and we know which channel they're on. So if they want to talk to their friends, they can just go to their friend's channel. And so they can have conversations with their friend's channel. They just always have to go back to our channel. So we really love this, and the charging station and everything. It takes up a lot of space, but this is valuable real estate that is well worth it because we love these walkies. Down here is our breaker box. So it's just like a false cabinet. And then this one right here is just where we stick some of our extra hiking shoes, just so they're kind of out of the way. So we just grab them when we need them, but they're not sitting out all the time. We don't really have a lot of shoe storage, which is kind of a bummer, but we do have this bin down here, which we kind of just shove all of our shoes in so they're not everywhere. So we work from the road. We're content creators. We need to be able to upload, download. We need to have internet access at all times. One piece of advice that people gave us when we first hit the road is to have multiple internet carriers. So we actually have Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. So this is our AT&T and our Verizon routers, and then the one over there is our T-Mobile. So no matter where we're at in the country, we will have internet. And it does really depend on where you're at in the country. Some parts of the country, one carrier works better than the other. And here in Florida, like we did not have any signal. We actually got the T-Mobile router since we've been in Florida because we had no signal. So it's been super helpful. They're all like mobile internet. But if we didn't have those, this life would be really, really hard. And then underneath here is our fireplace. This is a working fireplace, so it puts off a lot of heat, so we're not going through our propane a lot. So our furnace runs off of propane, and we can go through it very, very quickly if it's very cold. So having the electric fireplace actually puts off a significant amount of heat, and we really love having that. Most nights we can get by with just the fireplace, the heat that it gives off from that.
Hey everyone, Loren from Tiny Home Tours here. I am so excited because today I'm going to set up my new bed from RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding. Finding the right size mattress for my van is tricky because of the Murphy bed. It needs to be thin enough to tuck up into the wall, but I'm not willing to sacrifice on comfort or support. That is where the Wanderlust Memory Foam mattress comes in. It has 5 different comfort options, 22 RV-specific sizes, and 5 heights. All mattresses from RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding are made in Arizona, ship for free right to your door, come with a 120-night sleep trial, and a 10-year warranty. If you're looking to get a better night's sleep, check out rvmattress.com. Or you can click the link below and use code TINYHOMETOURS for 20% off a mattress purchase. Trust me, you won't regret it.
We actually have a very unique situation. So our oldest daughter, Addison, she's 14 now. She was sick for 5 years, and it took her 3 years to get diagnosed, and she did 21 months of IV treatments, and she was very, very sick, and we didn't know if she was ever gonna get better. And we went to one of her doctor's appointments, and her doctor told us that she was in remission and she could stop her IV treatments. And we didn't know before she started her treatments, if she was ever going to get better. And so I came home and I was like processing our entire lives. So we were running around doing everything, all the things that we are told that we're supposed to be doing with our lives. The kids were involved in activities, and it was chaotic. And having her get better after she'd been sick for so long, we just realized like we were not living our lives to the fullest. We were not living our best life. We were waiting for something to happen to start living, or we were waiting for something to stop before we started living. And we knew that we needed like a drastic change. And so my first thought was, we really enjoyed tent camping. We had considered getting a camper. So let's just get a camper and go travel in the Southwest for like a month, which then turned into 3 months. I had asked him if he wanted to live in a camper, and he said,
absolutely not.
Yeah, he was so against it. But after 2 weeks of traveling, we really fell in love with living in a small space, and we have spent so much time together and done so many adventures together that we've grown closer together as a family. I can't imagine ever having had this with the kids when we were living in our house. Like, we have a really great relationship with all of the kids, and all of the kids have a great relationship with each other. And we're just really intentional to make sure that we're not, society tells you that you're supposed to be living in a house in the suburbs, and your kids are supposed to be involved in activities, and you're supposed to be doing X, Y, and Z. And all those things are great, and there's nothing wrong with it. It just wasn't for us, and we needed a change. And so we decided to step out of the box of ordinary and live a way that made us happy, live a simple life so it wasn't chaotic, and it's been the best thing we've ever done for our family. So this is our living space. So since we are a family of 5, there was a choice in this model camper where we could either have a 2-seater couch and a dining room table or a super sofa. So there's 4 seats on the sofa, but we can all 5 of us fit on this couch, which I really like that we can do a movie night and sit inside and it feels just like we're in a house. So we're not doing anything differently. Like, we do watch a lot of movies outside, but I really wanted the option for us to all sit on the couch and have a movie night just like we used to do when we were in a house. Except for it is a little bit cramped. And if somebody's sitting on this side of the couch, you can't really see the TV, especially if anything's on the kitchen counter. So that's one thing I don't really love about it. And I miss having a dining room table a ton. I really, really miss having a dining room table. We used to sit around the table at home and eat dinner every night. So that's something I really miss. But this couch actually turns into kind of a table. Underneath this part of the sofa, it has some arms and like tabletops that connect to these little anchors down here. So we can have tabletops. It's not exactly the same, but it's as good as you're gonna get with having a sofa and living in a small space. So that's one thing I would definitely change about this. I don't know where the table would go, but I would love to have a dining room table in our camper. The living room area is in a slide out. I love the huge windows, especially because they're on this side and we can see everything. That's one thing I really love about this brand camper is they do have the huge, gigantic picture windows. So the slides, we did take the valances off. I didn't really like them, but the blinds, they just pull down and go back up, and they do have a reflection on the back of them. So it does reflect heat. So if it is a little bit hot outside, it will keep some of that warmth out so the camper will stay cool. This is our full-size bathroom. We do actually have 1.5 baths. So this is where the shower is. So we all take showers in here. I love this bathroom. As far as the camper goes, it has the most amount of storage that I've seen in a camper. This camper has a ton of storage. So that we have our medicine cabinet right here, storage underneath here where I keep like my hair dryer, my curling iron, and like additional hair supplies underneath there. A ton of storage on this side, but then there's also storage over here. It goes all the way back the length of the shower. So we store our towels and our washcloths. We have some just like additional extra shampoo and conditioner for when we run out. We don't like to keep these super full because it does go all the way back and it's hard to reach the things that are in the back, but it is really nice to, essentially have a linen closet in a camper, which I don't think most people have a linen closet in a camper. The shower is gigantic. It actually goes down a little bit below the floor. So if you really, really wanted to and you were desperate to take a bath, you could sort of take like a partial bath. We haven't ever done that, but it does have that dip down, and I'm 5'9", so the shower goes up really high. There's also a skylight right here. So if you are taller, you're gonna have plenty of space in the shower. This is our toilet. We just have a standard RV toilet that you flush with your foot. Nothing really special, just a porcelain toilet. It's not composting or anything. It just is what came with the camper. So when we are dry camping, we have 100 gallons of fresh water. So we can take showers when we are dry camping. We just have to be a little bit more cautious of our water usage. So we actually changed out the shower head from the one that came with it, because you can turn it on and off mid-shower. So you're not having to turn the handles on and off and try to get the shower back to like the warmth that you want it. So that's really been helpful, especially when we're dry camping and we have to be careful of our water usage. All right, so this is our master bedroom. So this is where me and my husband sleep. This is where we store all of our stuff. There is also a ton of storage in the master bedroom. So this is our closet. We have this entire rack right here where we can hang our clothes, which is super nice. Then there's also additional storage back on either side. So we do have a washer on this side and a dryer on that side. So we can, it's smaller, but we can wash our laundry, which is amazing, especially having 3 kids, because we do a lot of laundry. We did not have them when we first left, and we were spending so much money on the laundromat, and this has been a game changer for us. So we have additional clothes storage on this side for me, and then additional clothes storage on this side for my husband. And then behind the hanging part of the clothes, we have additional storage. So we put like our bulkier items, like our jackets and additional shoes, some of our work supplies, and some of our camera equipment goes down there. And some more of our camera equipment goes up here. We don't really keep a ton of stuff up here just because when we want to keep it as minimal as possible for the things that we have to move around on drive days. And anything that's up here does fall down when we're driving. So we don't like to keep a bunch of stuff up there because we do have to take it out. So that is one thing we have to do, but it's just really minimal in comparison to everything. But there's a ton of storage in this master closet. So this was actually a king size, fitted for a king size, but we wanted to have a little bit of additional space on either side for like moving around. And then we also have a little bit of space right here to tuck like our books or things that we want to keep with us underneath like the window area, but it gives us a lot of extra space to walk around the bed and actually have room, and we're perfectly fine with the queen size bed. So we cut down the boards so that we could have our queen size mattress. And this bed actually lifts up to store things underneath the bed. So we keep our extra blankets underneath there, extra clothes, like coats. We're in Florida right now, so we don't really need coats. And then we also have had to travel back a couple of times by flying, and we wanted to make sure that if we did ever have to fly back, that everyone does have a duffel bag and a book bag so that we could pack everything and fly back. So everyone has a book bag, everyone has a duffel bag, and it's all stored underneath our bed. On this side of the master bedroom is where we have our dresser, and this actually came with the camper, the dresser, but we added this top to the dresser. Is basically just a piece of plywood that my husband stained to kind of match, and then we have it attached with command Velcro strips. So it kind of hangs over, so we have a desk space right here, and this little stool fits perfectly right underneath there, so I can sit here and edit videos, that sort of thing, which is super helpful. It's definitely not like the ideal workspace, but it works perfectly, especially living in a small space. So I'm like really grateful to have this. We have our printer over here. We have to print out contracts and stuff for our jobs, and then sign them and send them back. We don't use it all the time, but it's also helpful for like the kids' homeschool, that sort of thing. So we always have the printer out, and that's actually attached with command Velcro strips as well. So the printer stays there, and then we have our TV right here for our bedroom. So this is our second TV, and we just basically have like command hooks everywhere for our hats and that sort of thing.
Plan on traveling forever. there's
Yeah.
we have no end in sight, especially in the near future. We set off for a 3-month journey, and after a couple of weeks, that's when we decided to keep on traveling. We've upgraded our camper to something a little more livable and functional for us as a family. The more places we go, the more places we see, we realize there's so much more out there, and we can't see everything. So this just drives us to continue to travel and go on this adventure together.
Yeah. So when we first started, I had a business I was running online, but a couple months after we left, we started posting on social media. We started on TikTok, just like documenting our lives and what it's like to live in a camper, and just because we were living a non-traditional life, and that very, very quickly became our full-time income. I actually had to give up my other business that I'd had for 7 years because this just grew so exponentially. So we're full-time content creators for our social media channels. This is the kids' bunk room. This is another feature about this camper that I really like, because all the kids have basically as much personal space as you can get living in a camper. So when we purchased this camper, it had a pull-out sofa in this space right here, but that you could fit additional 2 kids on. We pulled it out as soon as we purchased the camper and used this for toy storage and place for the kids to hang out. So right here we have 3 big drawers and 3 small drawers. So each kid gets 1 big drawer, 1 small drawer to put whatever they want to in there, toys or whatever. And then we have like some books up here, like for their homeschool stuff. It's kind of a mess, but we live here. So like, it just is what it is. This is where TJ stores his clothes. And this is TJ's bunk right here. So he has his ladder, and this is his space. One thing we did add to the camper is the kids all have curtains. So they have personal space in the camper as much as possible so they can close off their curtain and just, just kind of get to themselves and, have a little bit of privacy. So TJ, because he is up on the bunk, he stores a lot of his toys up there so he can like play while he's in his bed, like right before he goes to sleep. And we have a little hanging basket that he puts some books, and it's a mess, but like we live here and he uses it. So he has all that in his bunk. And then over here on this side is where the girls sleep. So this is Grace's bunk. She also has her own curtain, and this is Addison's bunk area. It goes all the way back. So this is like a queen size bed. And then this was supposed to be like a bunk area too, but we took out the mattress that came with it. And we actually had a hamster that had been traveling with us. It was her hamster and he passed away like a week ago. So this did have like a big hamster cage up here. She's cleaned all of that out, and now she's using it as like a desk area for her homeschool. So she does a virtual online homeschool, and she's just kind of using this as like her desk space. So, which is pretty cool. She's got a nice little setup over here, and she's got like LED lights, and it's all like really cool setup. She's like made it her own space. Her curtain goes all the way around. So she has a ton of space and personal space and privacy. So she's 14, Grace is 10, and TJ is 8. This is where the girls keep their clothes. So they have like a hanging rack on this side, the drawers on the bottom, and this is more like cubby style, but they're able to fit all of their clothes in this space right here.
All right, so here at the front door, right outside the stairs, we keep these little hooks for the helmets for the kids, keep those helmets organized. This is our front compartment area. On the outside here, we have a map to all the states that we visited and have done at least one activity in. Being a family of 5, it was very important for us to have a large storage compartment. We keep 5 chairs in here, or 5 camping chairs in here. We keep 2 beach chairs, and we keep multiple storage containers for the kids to keep their toys organized. In the back there, we've cut out the wall, added plexiglass, so we're able to see all the plumbing and the electrical just in case we have any issues. We don't have to take out all the wood to see that. Inside here, we have our controller for our inverter. Our refrigerator runs off standard electricity, so that here is what controls the power to that. Coming farther down in here, this is just a propane compartment. We keep a 30-gallon or 30-pound tank in here. We also have one on the other side as well. Here at the front of the camper, we have the front storage compartment. Here is where we store all of the batteries. We have four 12-volt batteries to supply power to the entire rig. Up front, we keep the air compressor. We keep safety cones if we ever get in trouble. Up top here, we keep a lot of things we don't use as much: fishing gear, life jackets. We have, filters and oil for the generator. Down below here, we have the generator. Just overall, this is where we keep things we don't have to access every day. So on this side of the camper here, what we have is all the plumbing connections. Here we use this control panel to add water to the freshwater tank. We can add water, take water straight from the city fixture, straight from the city plumbing up to our fixtures. We also have our dump valves where we dump our black water and our gray water by pulling these valves here. Our water filter, we always go through a water filter before coming into the camper to help keep the pipes clean and our freshwater tank clean. As you move down, here's our connection for our sewer. Using these valves up here, we'll open and close that as we need it. Up here is where we bring in the power from a pedestal to supply electricity to the camper by a outside source without using our batteries or generator. Out here on the back of the camper, we have an outdoor kitchen that comes equipped with a refrigerator, plenty of storage, plenty of countertop space. We have an outdoor sink. Up here, we keep just kids' toys. We keep miscellaneous cups. This cabinet here keeps some supplies. We keep oil, paper towels, aluminum foil, just things you may need as you're grilling out. One thing I love about this outdoor kitchen is we do have an outdoor griddle, along with more storage underneath where we keep the lighters and everything to light the campfires. My favorite part about the outdoor kitchen is that we can create just a whole outdoor environment here. We have the black stone here added up on top of a table. This just gives a whole feel, a whole vibe out here. Come out here at night, you turn the lights on, you hang up some streamers and everything. You just have You can have a party outside without having to track everybody inside.
If you were thinking about doing this, I recommend just going for it and trying it. And if you don't like it, you can always go back to the life that you had before. But if you're thinking about it, there's a ton of remote jobs. You don't have to be rich. Like, it's so cheap to do this, and just start where you're at and go for it if it's something that you really want to do. Make it happen.
You don't know you want to do it until you get out there and do it. I was totally against it at first, and once I got my feet wet, it's a lovely lifestyle.
Yeah. So you can find us on all social media channels. We are Family of Nomads. On some channels, there are dots in between. Family of Nomads. We're on Snapchat, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Is there any more? That's all. I think we're on Twitch too. Yeah. We don't really use it yet, but I'm sure we will. Did I say YouTube?
YouTube, yeah.
Yeah.
You name the platform, we're on it.
Yeah, Family of Nomads. So we just document our lives, like what it's like living in a camper, how we organize it, especially with the family, how we homeschool the kids, just how we teach them from the road. And we were just really sharing our life and what it's like. Thank you guys for watching this. Thank you for hanging out with our family. It was really awesome.